Never seen a successful pimp.
Never.
Nigga, take a pimp bitches away from them. They are broke as fuck. Half of them get on drugs.
Magic Don Juan?
Magic Don Juan is not successful. You don't know, he doing podcasts like me now. Nigga, Pippin Ken, I ain't never seen Pippin Ken with a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Pimp C was married.
Yeah, he definitely was married.
He was married.
Yeah.
Nigga, pimps, let me tell you like this, pimps having babies with they hoes. I ain't never seen a pimp with his kids' room in the same house. They can show us the cars. They can show us all this and all that, the rented shit and this and that jewelry, diamonds. But I ain't never seen a pimp child's room because you're not in your child's life.
Just like the gypsies. If you might have made love to a lot of women, but you ain't touched the gypsy yet. So in this field, a layman, I'm to a pimp, you know, any game that you haven't participated in, haven't really participated in, you are considered a layman, right?
Right.
Y'all do agree with me on that?
Yeah. Where do you sell for?
How could anybody tell you about a pimp and they don't even know the origination of him, where he come from, what he here for? He for the unwanted woman. See, I'm gonna say this. You see, God gave everybody a mate. A lot of men are tipping them women's back room and tip outside fast and their pants up real nice and run. So she ain't got nobody want to be seen with her in public. But they give her a mate too. God did that. He gave her the pimp.
Now, wait a second.
Let me explain something to you.
Wait a second.
Don't you agree that, Mr. Springer, let me say this, please.
Sure.
Don't you agree that she's entitled to life, love, and pursuit of happiness?
She's entitled not to be owned, not to be a slave, not to be beaten, and not to...
All right.
She have a decision to make. This was her choice.
That's the way y'all looking at it. That's the way y'all looking at it. Because you're a layman in that field. Please believe me, every snowflake that falls from the sky got a different design. Lifestyle. People don't like doctors. They don't like police. Some people don't like you. They don't even like God, and he wake them up every morning. Yeah. Let me explain something to you. No, it's not my way. When I come along, that's today and I'm yesteryear.
That's right.
The only reason I'm out here is I hear so many myths, MYTS, and derogatory statements concerning a pimp, and everything done come out the closet but the pimp. I said, well, I'm just going to step out there and of our own, just like the...
Never seen a successful pimp.
Never.
Nigga, take a pimp bitches away from them.
First of all, this reason why I believe, and I know for a fact, that's why I showed y'all the clip of the OG Biblo. I read his book a long time ago while he was spitting facts. Like a layman, you know, back then, you know, the OGs, they say layman or we say lame or square. You know, you ain't in the game, so you can't speak on something you have no knowledge of. You know what I'm saying? And this lame right here, whoever the fuck he is, he ain't got no knowledge of. Now, he talking about he ain't never seen a successful pimp. Yeah, you ain't never seen a successful pimp. You ain't in the game. You don't know nothing about that shit, man. You shouldn't be able to speak on something you know nothing about. But let's finish. Let me hear this bullshit out.
Broke as fuck. Half of them get on drugs.
Magic Don Juan?
Magic Don Juan is not successful. You don't know, he doing podcasts like me now.
Just because motherfuckers doing podcasts don't mean they weren't successful. You ain't like Don Juan older than us. Now, I ain't a fan of Don Juan myself because I know some stuff that he did in the game. But, you know, a lot of the stuff, he was successful in his own right, in his own life. He wrote a book about it. He became a preacher and everything. So you don't know nothing about a pimp. And you talking about you speaking on another man, like another P. Unless you was a P and you was in the game with him and you actually pimp with him or whatever, you was in the game the same era, you can't speak on him. I'm just saying. But let's go ahead and finish. Because, you know, Lane's always talking some bullshit.
Pippin Ken, I ain't never seen Pippin Ken with a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Pimp C was married.
All right, so he ain't never seen Pimpin' Ken. One thing I could say, Pimpin' Ken was on Pimp Self Holds Down and American Pimp, man. He had bitches on both ones. Now, I never pimped with Pimpin' Ken. He was before my time. But I'm just saying, he was on documentaries and shit with his bitches. So, but I ain't never been in Pimpin' Ken life. You know what I'm saying? I did my thing in my time. I'm a different era. You know what I'm saying? But I would never talk shit on Pimpin' Ken because, you know, unless I pimp with Pimpin' Ken and I could be like, yeah, I seen you do some shit, but I ain't, you know, that's neither here nor there. I ain't gonna speak on Pimpin' Ken. Now, Pimp C, he a rapper. You know, he wasn't no pimp, but he was a rapper, just rapping about pimping. But he wasn't no rapper. He came out and said he's a dope boy. He tried to pimp and all that. He tried. You know, this was the other time I was doing my era. You know, that's another story. I ain't gonna speak. Pimp Ken, not Pimp Ken. Pimp C was a legendary Southern rapper. I give him credit for that. You know, he had one of the best Southern groups in the era of hip hop. I ain't gonna dismiss his rap legacy, but far as him pimping, no. And he bring up Pimp C. You know, who is he?
Yeah, he definitely was married.
He was married.
Yeah.
Nigga, pimps. Let me tell you like this: pimps having babies with they hoes. I ain't never seen a pimp with his kids' room in the same house.
You just because you ain't never seen it, don't mean it didn't happen. A lot of P's, like, first of all, pimps, like the real pimps, you know what I'm saying, about their kids, they usually keep the kids private. They don't put their kids' life on Front Street. You know, their life be on Front Street. They ain't never put their kids, you know, I ain't even let my hoes, you know, be around my son. You know what I'm saying? My son ain't even seen that life. You know what I'm saying? As far as for me, most pimps keep their kids out the life. You know what I'm saying? They put their kids in private schools and shit like that or whatever. I done the same thing. But, you know, this motherfucking lame-ass motherfucker don't know what the fuck he talking about. And this is the reason why you don't need to have squares speaking out on this shit. It's like I'm going to put it to you like this. Nigga, I ain't no D-boy. I ain't never been no D-boy. So I really can't speak on the dope game because that ain't me. That ain't my shit. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with gangbangers. I ain't never been a gangbanger, so I ain't gonna speak on gangbanger shit. Now, as far as gangbangers being in the gang, yeah, I speak on that because I'm like, they ain't the same game. You know, in the game of the lifestyle that I'm talking about, then that's gang goofy because you can't be a gang. You know, it was some gangbangers that turn pimp, but they can't use the gangbanger tactics in pimping. It don't work. You know what I'm saying? And this motherfucker, I let him speak. But you can see how ignorant he sound.
They can show us the cars. They can show us all this and all that, the rented shit.
Same thing y'all rappers do. It look like he a new age rapper just talking about shit. He ain't no pimp, man. He a lame trying to speak on game. He don't know nothing about success in the game. It's a lot of successful pimps. You know what I'm saying? They did it. They been in the game like Pimpin' Ken looked like he looked like a little young nigga. He wasn't in Pimpin' Ken lane. He wasn't in Don Juan lane. Pimpin' Ken, Don Juan, and never ever. You look like you younger than me. So how the fuck you can speak on niggas that was doing this shit way before you was even born, nigga? Stop it.
This and that jewelry, diamonds, but I ain't never seen a pimp child's room because you're not in your child's life.
Nigga, you don't know about, you can't speak on that shit. Because like I said, most pimps keep their kids' lives private. Why would you try to, you know, I mean, it depends. Some dudes, you know, everybody do shit different. But what I seen from the shit I seen and the shit I know, you know, and how I live my life, and I seen my mentor and other dudes, OGs, I heard them talk, I seen them on different shit, or I met them before. You know, from how they carried their life, most of the time they keep their kids' lives private. They ain't gonna put them on Front Street. Yeah, they put their lifestyle on Front Street, is their lifestyle. But their kids, they try to keep it private. You dig what I'm saying? And the reason why I hate, and I'm speaking on this shit, because this lane, he can't speak on the game. He can't speak on nobody he talking about. He could say something about Pimp C, because Pimp C a rapper. He wasn't no pimp. I can say that. I don't care about what Texas dudes say. He a great rapper. He wasn't never no pimp, though. But the others, you know what I'm saying, like Pimp Don Juan and Pimpin' Ken, you can't speak on them because they was in a different era. You wasn't in that era. You look like you younger than me, like I said. And if he want to say something, he can see me. You know what I'm saying? Because if I said something, if I had him in person, and he had me on the interview, I'm like, nigga, you ain't, what pimp had, when you was in the game? What name you got, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Gang goofy ass nigga. I said that shit. That's why I made this video. You gang goofy as fuck.